is an online journal aimed at provoking thought and opinion, with the hope to start and deepen conversations between communities and within communities, out of which we may become a better world.
But so that they may break the chain and cull the living flower. That is as different from the idea that he said religion was a drug as it's possible to get in any statement, philosophical or rhetorical. I'm one of the very few people to have been to North Korea, undoubtedly the most pitiless version of Stalinism, Stone Age, stone-faced Stalinism ever to have come onto our planet. It's the most horrible place I've ever been in my life. It is an entirely faith-based state. The leader of North Korea is addressed by Mr. Chairman, Mr. Kim Jong-il, by our president, not as Mr. President, because he isn't the president. The president of North Korea is Kim Il-sung, who's been dead for 20 years. It's a necrocracy. It's a thanatocracy. It's a mortalocracy. And you'll notice it's a father dead and a son who rules in his place. It's one short of a trinity. Everyone, every day, worships the divinity of this dynasty. It is a completely faith-based system. There isn't a word of Marx available in any of its bookstores, or of Lenin, or anyone else. It is another Asian theocracy. And if you claimed that it was socialist, you would be accepting it at its own best claim, instead of condemning it for what it is. Hateful tyranny based on slavery and on the undying worship of a worthless figure. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. And now this is a question from Ryan to Dinesh D'Souza. Voltaire once said, quote, "If there were no God, it would be necessary to invent him." Doesn't the notion that belief in God, developed over time to reduce fear of the unknown, provide a simple psychological explanation of God's existence that is much more likely than what you suggest?
The explanation of religion that attributes it to fear of the unknown would, or alternatively, another explanation equally powerful and often argued, this was Sigmund Freud rather than Voltaire, wish fulfillment. We don't understand the world, we wish there was a better world, we wish we could live beyond death, so we make up religion. The question you have to ask is whether the religions that are said to be made up satisfy this human problem. For example, let's take for a moment the idea of wish fulfillment. I would like to believe that there's a place where you live forever, there's no suffering, there's no death. And this would explain why a group of people may have come up with the idea of heaven. Heaven satisfies wish fulfillment. But what does not satisfy wish fulfillment is hell. Why? Why would you make that up? That is far worse than any human problem we encounter. If we're trying to get away from fear, why add the ultimate fear of eternal separation from God? We're not reducing our fear, guys, by coming up with something that is far more terrifying than diabetes or looking out in the dark and hearing thunder. So when you look at the Abrahamic religions, you simply have to ask, if this is your diagnosis, Mr. Freud, you must be a pretty lousy doctor. Because the remedy doesn't meet the problem. In fact, it makes the problem worse. Jews and Christians, and in fact anthropologists studying ancient religion, study the religion of the ancient Greeks. Does it look like wish fulfillment? The idea of everybody going to a dark underworld called Hades, far worse than anything in life? Read the Odyssey. When Achilles is confronted in Hades, he goes, I would rather be a poor shopkeeper or a poor farmer than to be down here. The point I'm trying to get at is a simple anthropological look at religion shows that in no way Is it a mere construction to satisfy wish fulfillment, or simply a way of trying to get away from fear of the dark?
No, well, I'd like, if I may, just to take, I'm sure I'm preempting someone's question. I just quickly want to say, one of the reasons that it's a pleasure to do this is that it was in front of a debate sponsored by the King's College in New York, where I first heard Dinesh make this point and realized that it was a highly brilliant riposte to what I would call vulgar Freudianism. And you have to think only of the next phase, however, to see one of the objections one could possibly make to it. In other words, what we wish, when we say wish thinking, or wish, we think about a child, we think about praying for a pony, or for a secret friend, or something of this kind. But remember, not all of our wishes are innocent, or nice, or happy, or beneficial. Indeed, what Freud helps us to understand is that even among children, some of the things that are desired are unpleasant. Some people, for example, want to be unfree, want to live under a dictatorship that will tell them what to do. It's their desire. They're afraid of being free. They wish for a father who never goes away. They won't get one, but they wish they could have one. They certainly wish to see other people punished horribly. They may not want to go to hell themselves, but they sure want other people to do it. Tertullian, one of the early Christian church fathers, said when a bit stumped for why will heaven be so nice, couldn't think of many reasons, couldn't offer the Quranic inducements that were later available. He said, well, you can always go and look down into hell and see the people you don't like being tortured forever in a lake of eternal pain and fire. So it's right that we say that we should beware of what we wish. And when we understand that what we wish for, because we are animals, because we are primates, because we are created sick and only by religion ordered to be well on pain of punishment, that yes, we may wish for horrible things. And so that the element of religion that is wishful need not be a wish for something benign. Don't run away with that idea.